So here's the thing, guys. Did you know that if you are an employee and you have never claimed some tax back on expenses such as for washing your clothes, for driving for work purposes, or travel for work purposes, and the list goes on. But if you've never claimed anything to get some tax back, you may be entitled to get back 5 years of those costs, which can be some good money. So I did. Unfortunately, I only discovered this a little bit too late, and I could only claim back 2 years. And within 2 years, because of my industry, I was able to get £58.88. And some of that money is also related to working from home during the pandemic. So the video of today will be to show you how simple it is to apply. I suggest you do it yourself. Don't go through a middleman, because it takes 5 to 10 minutes for you to apply. And if you are successful, you get it within 14 days. So let me show you how I did it and the steps that I've taken to do it. So you can actually claim for this tax relief if you're an employee or self-employed. But for this video, I'm going to be showing if on the basis that you are an employee. So if you search on Google for Government UK tax relief for employees, it should take you to this page here, where you can then have more information on the sort of job expenses you are entitled to claim. If you go on uniform here as an example, this is the tax relief is related to cleaning, repairing, or replacing specialist clothing, such as if you work in construction, then you can claim some, you are entitled to get some money back on relation to cleaning your safety boots and your hard hat and so on. I suggest you take some time to read a bit more here to understand if you are entitled to apply for this. But you can always click on here, you can check if you can claim, yeah? So who are you claiming expenses for? So yourself. Are you claiming for expenses after the 5th of April 2016? This is because you can only claim back 5 years. So no. You can claim for expenses after the 5th of April 2016. You can only claim for the current tax year and for the previous tax years, okay? So are you claiming for expenses after the 5th of April 2016? Yes, I am. So did you pay tax in any each of the years you're claiming for? Yes, I. So this is, have you paid more than your personal allowance? Have you not only, so this is, have you paid taxes above your personal allowance, okay? So yes, did you complete your self-assessment return? So this is if you are self-employed, and then you say no. If you have, you say yes. Are you claiming expenses over 2,500 or more in a single tax year? So in my case, no, but if you have lots of expenses to claim, then you have to say yes. And this will take you to a different form where you have to actually do it for your self-assessment returns. In our case, if you're just going to claim your working from home expenses and uniform expenses related, and say, if you believe it's under this value, then select no. Has your employer paid back all your work-related expenses? So, but you can see what it means by that. So if your employer paid back all your work-related expenses or provided the things you are claiming for, you cannot claim tax relief. So here you can select what you want to claim. So uniform, if you want to claim professional fees, working from home, yeah, and then you can continue. Are you claiming tax relief for more than 5 different jobs? So there you go. You are eligible to claim these jobs expenses online, yeah. So then but you need to have your national insurance number and your recent pay slip or UK passport, whatever information you can have. But if you don't have a government gateway ID, then this only takes about 10 minutes to create one. So there you go. You can click. So the next step where you can go for this it will take you to this P87 form, where in here you can go, you can claim this tax back by post or by phone if you've done it before, but I would suggest you go through the claim online, because online you can claim back for the 5 years at once. So claim online. So what you do here, if you don't have a government gateway ID, you can create one by going here and you put in your email information and you press continue, and what's going to happen, you're going to receive an email with your government gateway ID, and after that what you will have as well is your login details. You then can log into it, and what's going to happen is going to take you to the actual application form. So it gives you some information on when you can use this form. So if you are claiming expenses under £2,500, then you can use it. And you want to claim back employment expenses that your employer has not paid you for. And yes, so you need some of these informations to complete your application, such as the payee reference. You can get this from your payslip. So let's start our application. And just a reminder again, if you are claiming for more than 2,500, you need to go through the self-assessment form instead. So start now, and it's very simple, as you can see here. Have you made claims before? And in this case, let's go no. And then here you will have your information after taken from the government gateway ID. You just have to put in your address, and this will take just for them to be able to contact you and to send you a lovely check, or to say that you are not entitled. So we continue, and here you can select the tax year that you wish to claim. Yeah, so I suggest you start from the top to the bottom, or because it can get a bit confusing later. So you continue, and here you put the employer's name. Let's put in just for the sake of this, I'm going to show you how it is. ABC 123, and your job, 123 ABC. And then your job title, you can put in whatever job title it is. You continue, and then you got your flat rate expenses. So this means if you choose the flat rate deduction, you don't have to provide any receipts or keep any records. If you don't have any receipts to justify your expenses, then if you select the flat rate, then what happens is it's going to let you know how much you can claim on this flat rate in relation to your type of industry. So if you are, let's say, in the engineering industry, and you see that your type of job is not here, let's say you work with drillers, then you can claim back up to £140 on tax relief. Let's say that if you are a cabin crew, you are entitled to £720 on tax relief. So let's say that I am an airline cabin crew member, so 720 for the year. Now continue my application. Okay, so have I used my own vehicle for work purposes in here? So if you use your own car, van, motorcycle, then if you allow the mileage allowance relief. So again, you must keep all the records. That doesn't apply to me. So if you have any few expenses from a company if the company has not paid you for them, and then you can claim it. Otherwise, you are not entitled to it. So do you want to claim tax relief on fuel if you have paid for when using a company car? No. So if you had any travel overnight expenses that your company has not paid for, even you can add information here where you stayed. So Holiday Inn. Is this a frequent business trip? Yes. How many times you traveled there? So 12 times. So I spent £1,000 there, and my employer has paid me 500 out of that. So I can claim 500, and I continue the application. So if I have any professional fees or subscriptions, then you can also claim that back. Let's say that I have an airline pilot, airline navigation council international, and I paid £100, and my company has helped me with this cost with £50. I am entitled to claim back £50. Okay, if I continue, have I done any medical exams and courses in order to work? So if I say yes, then I need to say what the name of the medical exam was. I test, and I paid £200, and my employer paid 100. I'm entitled to claim £100. So you continue the same application, and then using your home as an office. So this is a good point for us to consider during the pandemic that we've just gone through. You can actually claim some help to cover the rent, broadband access that you normally is private, but you are using for work. But only if you are using on a regular basis, you're allowed to claim this back. So let's say yes, amount paid by you. And in here, you need to find a calculation how much you can actually claim. But there's a guideline that you can find out a bit more, which they suggest is you're entitled to £6 a week. So let's say you worked for 1 month, then 6, 12, 24, and your employer has not helped you with any of these costs, such as telephone calls, extra cost of gas, electricity for your work area. So when you continue, so I suggest you can only, so in here I suggest that you only submit expenses that you can actually justify, and that are not for your private life use, really for your job purposes, and that your employer has not paid you back for them. Okay, so you continue. So general expenses received. Have you received any general expenses allowance from your employer? These are the total amounts you receive instead of claiming separate amounts for individual expenses. And no or yes if you receive any expenses. For the type of expenses recovered. Yeah, you can add this in here. So no. There you go. So that says that your total expenses claimed for this employment. You can add more expenses from other employers if you wish of this tax year, or you can continue. Okay, so you can continue to add more employees. If you have more than one job, then you can click on this add another employment, and you can include additional employers, and you go through the same process. On the amount you claimed at the rate of the tax paid. For example, if you make a claim of £150 and your rate is of tax 20%, then the tax relief would be £30. Okay, so that means that for this 2021 tax year, I could be claiming £1,394 on tax relief. So when you go on save and continue, and here you include your payment details that you want to receive the money. Where would you like the payable address order to go to? So where would you like the check to go to? and you say UK address, and then you check the information if it's correct. You save and continue, and here you put in your email to receive the confirmation, and then you submit, confirm and send. So it's important to take note that the money that we declared as an expense, such as the one we did as a test here, which is 1,394, that is not the money that you're going to receive. That money will be added onto your personal allowance, which for this year of 2020-2021 is 12,500. So let me show you how you can estimate how much you're going to receive back. So here's an example where you have a salary of £20,000. You deduct the personal allowance for the year 2020-2021, which is 12,500. That means you would only pay tax on £7,500, and the tax that you would have paid would be £1,500. Let's say now that you've learned about this tax relief option, your £20,000 minus the 12,500 personal allowance, you would have to pay a taxable income of 7,500, but that is no longer the case because you have 1,394 from that example that we've done just earlier on doing the application. So what would happen is the 12,500 plus the 1,394 becomes your new personal allowance, which is 13,894. So that becomes your new personal allowance. So £20,000 for your income minus the 13,894 of your new personal allowance, your taxable income would be 6,106, which is 20,000 minus 13,894. So you would have to pay 20% tax on 6,106, which would be 1,221.20. So the money that you would receive would be what you've paid, 1,500, minus 1,221.20 after you've declared your expenses, which the difference from that is £278.80. So this is what you should get through the post on a check with your name on it. So I hope your application goes well and you are able to get some tax back through the post. And if you do, I'm going to ask you to make two promises here today. Two promises. First one is that you are going to use this tax back to invest in yourself, in education, or to put into your emergency fund. So the second one is that you can share this content with your friends to make sure that they also can get some money back.